Hi, everyone. My name is Joe Lagilia, and on this episode of Not Your Average Joe, we're talking with Joe and Sherry Anicich of the Purple Project. Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Not Your Average Joe, powered by The Mortgage Message. My name is Joe Lagilia, and today I'm joined with Joe and Sherry Anicich, and we're talking about the Purple Project. Joe and Sherry, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So if you can, for my audience, just to start the interview, please just introduce yourself and what you guys are here for today.
My name is Sherry, and we are here to talk about our organization, our mission that we have in memory of our daughter, Alicia, and our granddaughter, Ava.
Wonderful. And just to kick the interview off, the Purple Project is really something that we're so excited to get the word out for the community to know more about this. Tell us what inspired the Purple Project.
So August 19th, 2012, our daughter Alicia and unborn granddaughter Ava were murdered up in Door County. She was attending a wedding with her boss, and it was her boss's sister's wedding. The death of them is what really inspired Purple Project. Purple Project has two missions. One is we like to help single young mothers that are pregnant for the first time. We do that kind of in memory of Ava, our granddaughter. And then the other mission is to help grieving parents that have lost children. Going through that process is just unexplainable, and any support you can get is helpful. And we found through our grief journey, there's not a lot of support out there, and we wanted to do something to help other parents going through that journey.
Yeah, and today, as you mentioned, Joe, is the 9th anniversary of her death, and from the beginning of this Purple Project to now, just kind of take us through what that journey's looked like as far as being able to put this together and to grow to where it is today.
Well, I think that it's all started through Alicia and I were in an organization called the Joliet Juniors Women's Club, and there's a little teen section that she was in, the juniorettes. And the first year after Alicia died, it was in August, and in October, the Joliet Juniors Women's Club participates in Take Back the Night. And they said, we're going to make T-shirts in March. And I felt that this was not a boyfriend-girlfriend situation. And I guess I learned a lot, because domestic violence is work violence too, because this was her boss since she was 16 years old. She worked in a flower department at 16. It was like her first job. So I think she thought this was normal, the way he treated people, more like friends. And so I said, no, I don't want to march. Can you collect baby items? Because Alicia was so excited to become a mother. And she was already the best mom ever. And her baby was already 7 pounds. I was in naturopathic school at the time, so she was drinking green drinks. And I think that's why the baby was so big. And so I wanted to do something that represented her and the love that she had for her daughters. So we collected baby items the first year, and then we gave it to Waterleaf in Aurora. And then after that, I said that I kind of want to see get to know the mothers a little bit and not just give the items away. I wanted to feel the joy that the mothers felt, because I know Alicia, if she received money every month and, supplies, she would greatly have appreciated it. So I started the Purple Project with the help actually of the owner of Waterleaf that started it. She helped me start my organization. And from there, we sponsored, I think, 5 unwed mothers. And the mothers are mothers that, are like Alicia. Alicia was a semester away from graduating Western University. Actually, she was going for forensic psychology. And she really, was going to be working full time. It's just somebody, a young girl who kind of like this is just a supplement to help them. Whether they're in school or they work, we encourage them to work full time. So that is how we started the, helping the young mothers.
Yeah. And the key thing on that bottle drive was the expected due date of Ava. So sure we want to do that in dedication to Ava.
Yeah.
on that day.
What a beautiful thing. I know that the Purple Project has a lot of meaning, and this was something that the family and friends during this tragic time came together and actually wore purple throughout that entire process. And so much of what championed this story was the change legislatively that came through this horrific event. Joe, if you can talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so as we learned through the trials up in Wisconsin, that the state of Wisconsin had legislation around voluntary intoxication. So voluntary intoxication could be used against intent crimes in the state of Wisconsin. And we actually had to go through two trials in Wisconsin. The first one was a hung jury. We had two jurors that couldn't get past the word intent. So we felt we had to do something about that. So between the first trial and the second trial, we started getting signatures and campaigning to eliminate that law from the state of Wisconsin. It wouldn't have any impact on our case, but we just felt that was the right thing to do. So we reached out to all the legislators in Wisconsin, and we had a representative NAS in Wisconsin's contact Sherry after we sent letters to all of them. And he said, I've been trying to get rid of this law for the last 7 to 10 years. He couldn't even get it past a House committee to get it into a bill into law, or a bill into the Congress. So he asked us to come up and speak to a House committee, which we did, and it actually passed unanimously. So we had a bill in the House. Then he called us back and says, you know, that bill could get hung up in the House. Can you come and talk to a Senate committee? So we did that, and it passed that unanimously. So I believe having an example where that law what's the word I'm looking for?
Represented.
Yeah, had a case where it actually had a huge impact on a real case. I think that's what brought it into the House and the Senate. And what was really interesting, we were up, the bill passed the House, and it was in the Senate, and we were up in Door County during a motion hearing. We finished the motion hearing, and we're back at the hotel, and all their sessions are televised in Wisconsin. And we watched it pass the Senate while we were up in Door County. And then we were able to, following April, go up and meet Governor Walker and sign it into law.
I can't imagine the emotions behind that moment. And from my understanding, there's been up to 31 other states that have used that to help change the laws.
Yeah, I started investigating a little bit, and there's 30 to 36 states that have laws that protect, intoxication around the intent crimes. But every state, the verbiage is a little bit different. But yeah, there are other states that have that same type of legislation.
Yeah, just an incredible moment for you guys. On a personal level, Sherry, how has this project just affected you, just through mourning this loss of your daughter and granddaughter?
With the pregnant girls that we help, I feel like I never got to be the grandmother, and that I was meant to be. So when the girls come over and I get to hold the babies, I feel a little bit that my daughter held them first in heaven. And then I'm, holding the babies that she held, and it's like I get to be a grandmother. So when I feel them, I feel her when I hold those babies. And the second mission that we have that we talked about is the grieving parents. I feel like that really helps me. And how that kind of got inspired is, I was really bad, obviously, sitting through 2 trials and seeing him. And, like he said, this law that was just crazy because, he said he contemplated for 2.5 hours to kill my daughter. And then to claim that he was drunk and, that he raped her after, so you couldn't have been drunk, was very, very heart-wrenching. And, I had a lot of support from the community here. And I said to my friend, I don't know what I'm going to do. I can't make it anymore. And she said, go on Facebook and go onto your grief groups and see what they did. And somebody said they went to this faith lodge, and it was for just child loss. And not that I'm saying that other losses aren't as significant, but I did lose my mother, and I felt this loss was something I definitely couldn't handle on my own. And so I went to Faith Lodge, and I really enjoyed being around other parents that, had talked about their, families who don't talk to them anymore, their friends. And I thought it was just me. A lot of people are afraid of grief, and especially child loss, like it's contagious or something. And so there, it was adult loss. We were with probably 3 other couples or 4 other couples, and we just sat down and talked about each of our children, and they weren't afraid to talk about children. We were able to laugh, and then we could cry, because when you start laughing, people think, oh, they're not going to talk about their child again, thank God. They're okay now. We'll never be okay, but you do learn to find joy again. And through that, I really liked it. And there's nothing here like this. We had to drive like 7 or 8 hours to get to Faith Lodge. Yeah. And I said, I want to bring that here, but I also want to bring in some therapy with it. I have a master's in social work. I was a therapist before Alicia died. And I wanted to bring the therapy part in, because there you're just sitting, but there was no tools to take home. So what we have here is we have a 4-day retreat that we have. And we, it's just for grieving parents. And sometimes we fly an expert in who, Benjamin Allen, who lost actually his whole family. He's just amazing. And he facilitates it. He has one-on-one counseling. We also have meditation. We have yoga. Every year we have something different to help, the parents deal with their grief. And then you meet like other parents. The first retreat I have, we call ourselves sister moms. Every year we get together. My friend has a lake house. At least 5 times a year, this group of us get together and we talk about our kids. We laugh. We're not just sitting there crying. We have a great time together. And it's just, you build a community of people that understand what you're going through, so you don't feel like you're walking alone, because child loss is such a lonely, lonely journey. Now, I'm telling you, like, today is a hard day because it's 9 years, and, I'm having a hard time keeping it together today. And sometimes I just need that. I need that person that understands me. All my grieving moms today are texting me, I'm thinking of you, because they understand that the death date and the birthdays, the anniversaries are really, really hard. So it's nice to have that community of people.
Yeah. Sorry, give me a minute. I'm getting caught up here.
It's really the network that the retreat creates, because everybody's at a different place at a different time, and when someone is down, someone is there to be able to pick you up because they're not in that low place. And when you first meet, like almost immediately when they walk in the door, you feel like you have a connection. The closeness, the bond that you have is almost immediate with other parents that are going through similar situation.
So much of what I'm reflecting on as I'm listening to this story is there's more of your family that's still here, and the two of you within your marriage, staying together by each other's side and sticking through this. When speaking with the other grieving parents that you guys have been a light in the darkness to, what are some of the shares that you guys have when reflecting on moving forward with each new day that comes?
Well, one of the things that I always notice when you first meet parents, they want to know what year you are in your journey. And sometimes you meet people who are fresh, and I think they see that there's hope, because they ask, does it get better? And sometimes it's better, but you still the pain you have in the beginning, you still get it, but hopefully it's not as deep and it's not as often. And so I think people, when they come in, they want to see where everybody's at and understand, that there is that light at the end of the tunnel, or at least it's tolerable.
Yeah, just beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
And sometimes we we share, a lot of parents get signed from their kids, and I'll tell you, those are the signs that really, they're incredible. You would never believe it. Like after Alicia died, there was an A in the sky. I mean, the day of the sentencing, I had a dream, and she said, "Mom, I'm going to be present at the sentencing." Literally, there's a light on her best friend coming, and it was raining, and we were in the shade, and it wasn't even, the sun wasn't shining. One light just right on her shirt, because we wore shirts because we could finally wear her shirts that day, and we talk about bringing our children with us, because even though they're gone and they're in heaven, you still have a relationship with them, and we teach them how to carry that relationship, because they're not gone. That was your child, and you carry them with you every single day. So we talk a little bit about having a relationship, and how to find a little bit of joy again. How do you do that? What does that look like for every different parent? And Christmas, it's okay. You don't want to go to Christmas with the relatives that have their children and watch them open up the gifts, and you don't want to sit there and yay, it's Christmas. You don't have to. We tell them it's okay to be where you're at. And believe me, I got a lot of backlash sometimes from my family, like, it's year 4, aren't you going to come? No, I don't want to come yet. I'm not ready to come, and it's okay. We give people permission to feel the way that they feel, and there's no wrong or right way. If you don't want to go to something for 10 years, that's okay. But we try to guide them and give them a little bit of tools on, how to bring your child in for Christmas, whether you want that seat there. Do you want to light a candle in memory of them? People are afraid to say, oh, should we mention, Johnny? Because they might start crying. We're crying anyway. We're thinking of our child on holidays. We're thinking of our child every day. So don't be afraid to approach us and talk about, oh, I remember when Alicia did this, or, because that's so important for a grieving parent, that you bring, their child into the holidays, into every, I have a lot of my nieces and nephews getting married now, and it's difficult. To see them getting married, and Alicia won't get married. And we bring Alicia into that, and they say we really miss Alicia today. And that's important, for families. So we kind of just talk about how they're dealing with their family's issues.
Yeah, people are afraid to bring up your child because they think you're going to think about the child because I mentioned it, and you're thinking about them all the time. So what we do for Christmas and holidays is we actually set up a picture and a memory of, and we have Alicia, Ava, I have my dad, Sherry has her mom and grandfather, and then we invite people to bring pictures. So we have this huge collage of people who have passed, and it's a way to let people know it's okay to talk about them, that we still think about them. When we say our prayer before we eat our Christmas meal or Easter meal, we mention all the people that have passed. So we want people to talk about Alicia and Ava. So we're trying to, encourage them and let them know it's okay to do that.
Sherry and Joe, I think it's amazing that you are offering permission for the grieving family to be able to be okay with how they feel, and to be all right with making decisions that people may not agree with, but they have you to rely on. I want to talk about the Purple Project in 2021, kind of where we are today. What exciting things we have in the future to really bring more awareness to this.
Well, 3 years ago, we moved to Oswego, and we bought 4.5 acres. It's our residence, and it's called the Alicia and Ava House of Hope. And one of our missions is the Blessed Mother. And this year, for the first time, since my daughter left for school, I thought it was time for me to share my story. I've had a lot of incredible miracles happen, and one of them is that the Blessed Mother spoke to me at my daughter's funeral. And I never really shared that because I'll tell you the truth, at the time I didn't care. I was actually angry. Like, okay, yeah, I know your son died, but it's a long journey, and I never really wanted to share either because I don't want people to think I'm a wacko, because I never had anything like this happen. But I feel like God opened this veil to heal me, and I accepted it. So I will be sharing that on the Night of Hope this year, is September 26th. So at our Alicia and Ava House of Hope, we have a statue there that we dedicated last year. We have rosaries said there for parents to come if they want to come and say a rosary whenever they want. We've had people just come, and when we're not there and I see flowers that were left there, it's a place just to find healing. You can walk around the grounds. It's in the middle of a cornfield. There's no houses around. It's very, very peaceful there. We just recently had a Mother's Day grief retreat. for all the mothers who, lost children. And, we do arts. A lot of women like arts. I do not like arts. But arts is very healing to some of these women. So, and then we just, we had other, stuff there. We do a rose ceremony there where we take a petal and everybody shares a story about their child. And we go around and we put the petal in water. And at the end, it's the thorns. We each kiss the rose, the leftover rose, and we kiss the thorns because it's the suffering that we have to go through, but it's the beautiful memories of that rose that we have left, and we'll never forget those memories of our kids. And then down in the basement is a shop. Once a month, the mothers come and shop. Down in our basement, we have diapers and wipes and clothes and bath stuff and formula. So once a month, they come and they shop, and then we, have a kind of a meeting with them to talk about how to save for finances, how to make your own baby food. Sometimes they just, sometimes they just want to talk about, sometimes they're having, difficulties with the, court hearings with the father, and we just kind of are there to support them and help them down this journey, because being a single parent is a lonely journey too, and I feel like God blessed me with the gift of life with helping these people, and it's that journey and then the death of my daughter. It's like I get to walk through that. So I'm dealing with the birth, which is joyous, and I'm helping people with the worst hour of their life, which is child loss. And if you look at it, you see it on both ends. What a glorious thing it is here. And it is glorious, to find that joy in those memories of your child again, and I feel like God led me on that path.
And we call it the circle of life, and that was Alicia's favorite Disney movie was The Lion King.
Of course, yeah.
So we feel like we're fitting it in just right.
Yeah, and what a beautiful cause. And I would imagine all the things you just described that are available. There's donations that are needed. There's volunteer that's needed. Can we talk a little bit about how people in the community now, knowing this story and knowing of the Purple Project, how they can get involved?
Well, we do. If anybody ever wants to come by, I'm looking for anybody. I have a college student now that's helping me, but she's leaving, and she kind of just comes over once a week and, helps me with like computer things or, the Night of Hope. Father Dennis is doing it with me in Frankfurt. It's at St. Anthony's Church, and he was gifted with the gift of healing. And his story is pretty incredible, too. So I find it very powerful that we're coming together. So he actually, my stepmom, just recently, I had an enthronement ceremony at the House of Hope, and he did it, and my stepmom was there who has terminal cancer, and he did a healing on her, and now the doctors said that they don't know what happened, but the cancer's floating around or what, but it's not, they can't see it. So, and there has been healings there too. Another woman was healed of breast cancer at our home. So he will be doing healings, and we are looking for, he said he needs people to catch. If they, sometimes they're filled with the Holy Spirit, he said, and they, so we're looking for that. And, obviously for our grief retreats, we're always looking, for people just to be available to, sit if somebody, goes outside or is walking around, just be available to ask them if they need anything or, to talk with them. They can always check out our webpage too. We do, I forgot to say that we offer one-on-one counseling too, through there too. And we have, monthly sessions there too for parents, at our home, and everything is, free. We don't charge for anything. I mean, sometimes for the grief retreats, we might charge $300 or something at the most, and that's 4 days of food, counseling, all that. So, the most thing we need is donations. Mm-hmm. That's the most important thing is the donations. Very, very hard to get donations, especially for grief. Everyone likes to give for the pregnant moms, but I notice the grief is different. They don't want to give for grief, and I don't know why, because, the group that I talked about, the 5 women, last year, one of them committed suicide, my friend Sherry, and it was very difficult for us. It was her only child, and I felt like I failed her, because she was a part of our group, and it's a very lonely journey, when you don't have that. And my goal and my hope, and I pray every day, is that we could dedicate our house, give our house up financially be able to move. And because Sherry said to me, you need to have this home open 365 days a year. And it was her death date of her son that she killed herself. And I only have 1 or 2, 3 retreats a year. I want this to be like a home that's like a, a home for alcohol. You know what I mean? But this is a grief home where you live there 365 days a year. You can come there on your death date, Christmas. Somebody might not have, that was their only child, and they have nobody to spend Christmas with. They might be divorced and they're alone. So they can come to this home and get the comfort they need. So that is our long-term goal, is to give this home and have it open 365 days a year.
What an amazing mission. I know that this community is going to hear this story, Joe and Sherry, and they're going to show up, and there's going to be donations that are going to pour in. I know that that's going to happen because this is just such an inspirational story to hear and to share. I shared with you guys the point of this show is to lift up real community heroes, and that's exactly what the two of you are. But I need to ask you two, in closing of the interview, who is your hero? Anyone can go first.
My hero is the Blessed Mother, because I feel like we're walking the same journey. Her son was murdered, and I definitely look to her for inspiration. I feel like she took that, and she's helping people. Not that I'm saying anywhere near the Blessed Mother, but I feel like she is my hero. She did it in a silent way, helping people in not, in her heart, just teaching people about God's love. And that really is our message here, to teach everybody that, that God's love can heal anything.
So beautiful. Joe?
So before I mention my hero, just want to say the retreats, men are invited too. It's not just women, and step parents as well, because I'm a step parent. Alicia was my stepdaughter. And actually, most of the men that have come are stepfathers, and I just want to make sure everybody's aware of that.
No, thank you. Absolutely.
It's not just a women's group.
Thank you for that. Yeah, absolutely.
My hero is Sherry. Sorry.
It's okay. Take your time.
It might sound corny, but that first bottle drive, this happened in September, that November, she's thinking of other people. She's thinking, how can I do something for my granddaughter and help people in the process. If you get healed through this and you go on, everything's great, and you start Purple Project and you have this vision and you go for that vision, that's great. But it's not that way. It is a struggle every day. There's, behind closed doors, there's challenges. Why are we doing this? Are we helping people? And, days that she's grieving heavily, she still comes out of it and charges forward. So it's not an easy journey, but
Beautiful.
she, through her grief, she continues to drive, and that's why she's my hero.
Thank you, honey.
And thank you to both of you in the utmost loving memory of your daughter and granddaughter, and to all those that the two of you have touched through turning tragedy into triumph. Thank you. On behalf of our community, thank you.
Thank you so much.
you.
Absolutely. And thank you to our audience for tuning in to another episode of Not Your Average Joe, powered by Mortgage Message. We really hope and encourage you to go view, donate, become a part of the Purple Project. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Hi, we're Joe and Sherry Anicich from the Purple Project. We were just guests on Not Your Average Joe.
And if you know of any local heroes, we'd love to hear your story.